Good evening, friends. It's February 16th, 2019. I try to make each of these videos somewhat self-contained, even though clearly I'm talking about stuff off stage and things I've said before. I don't want anyone who's coming new to feel completely left out, so I do some recap and try to fill you in, get you up to speed. If you're just joining us, I've been talking about a math curriculum that divides into four parts. And what's on the screen here is one of those parts called Neolithic Math. And mainly we're just looking into the past here, which could be right up until the present time. So in case I'm leaving anything out, math up to now is Neolithic and math from now forward is Martian. So that pretty much covers it all. But of course, it's kind of a joke. I know that people don't want to necessarily use these labels. I just want to give you some heuristics where you could sort of divide math into past, present, and then on the other side of things going sort of as an axis to the arrow of time is supermarket casino. And I think you'll see the generalizations there too. Casino math is about what shall we do as we go forward? How shall we weigh these different risks, different opportunities, our fears? Everything figures into it, and then we do what we do. How well we do, or how badly, you could relate to then the supermarket, which is a metaphor for the economy as a whole. You could say the planet as a whole, the fruit basket, the cornucopia. If it all shrivels up and goes away, maybe we bet wrong in some way in our risk taking. So Neolithic math comes also with certain values that I am sharing through this curriculum. For example, getting up out of your seat and thinking of math as just simply scribbling in a clay tablet or something. We need you to go places and do things. Cooking is involved. I think Biosphere 2, for all its faults, is a good model in that they were attempting with this building, this structure, to find out if a closed ecosystem could be made to be self-sustaining with humans in the picture, so that if we were to send a spaceship to like Mars, we would have some experience with a biosphere on the way. That kind of thing is also Neolithic math, because every group of humans, let's say tribe, extended family, larger villages, they have to solve these real survival problems, and that takes math. Divvying up food and allocation, you could say payments, all the economics of creating a school, a village, a campus. This is something we can look at through the lens of Neolithic math, looking back, and then looking forward, of course, Martian math. So Stellarium and Celestia, whether these are the best tools in your universe or not, they do show the cosmos, the solar system. They give you a sense of Earth's location against the backdrop of the universe, and I think that's also a goal of Neolithic math. In fact, I would make it based on the model of outdoor school here in Portland, Oregon. I would make it a requirement for high school that you need to see the Milky Way in the night sky, if that's possible, if you can see. Now, it's not possible if there's a lot of light pollution where you live. If you live in a city that's just fogged in all the time with electrical pollution, we could call it light pollution, then you need the assistance of infrastructure to get out of the city and to experience life outdoors under the stars. That's part of the Neolithic math curriculum. And cooking for your peers, learning how to cook for a lot of campers, that's part of Neolithic math as well. Geocaching, another aspect. Getting out and learning how to navigate in rough terrain, all that kind of scouting, what we used to call, maybe still call scouting. I want to keep that in this curriculum under the heading of math is an outdoor sport. I don't want to forget that slogan. If you've read my materials on the math forum, you might remember those days. All right, that's a brief overview of where I'm going with this. Please feel free to send me your questions. I've already got a lot of Martian math on the file because that's where I um, take the most time because the material I'm covering there is the most unusual. It's based on all this polyhedral relative volumes and sphere packing studies developed around the geodesic dome studies in the Buckminster Fuller syllabus. And people as of 2019 in February are pretty much not using that. And I feel I've done the homework necessary to give it some kind of context and you could say a foundation, although I think it does a good job providing its own foundation. So yes, I am biased towards talking about Martian math more than just Neolithic math because I feel like a lot of people know math up to now a lot better than I do. Nor am I saying that somehow the Fuller math is about to take over in any way. It's not about taking over, right? I'm not about like, oh, here's the math of tomorrow and you're not going to need to know any other math. Machine learning, as just take the casino and think of how we're moving forward in anticipating the future in casino math terms, and you'll realize that there's all kinds of breakthroughs that have occurred recently in terms of machine learning, artificial intelligence. I'm not stressing on that as much because although I've taught it and I have some expertise there, I'm not the super expert that some of you are. So this is for teachers to glom onto as a heuristic, as I've said, and to share without necessarily reflecting all the same biases that I bring to the equations. I understand that my role is somewhat unique, and that's fine. All right, we'll talk to you in the near future.